weekend we got a side-by-side race at the fairgrounds over in Boone, Iowa that we're going to be attending, and so we're just getting this ready for the race. Here's a few highlights from last year that I wasn't a part of, but Shane was in his 700 Wildcat. So here's a few highlights from that.
Yeah, that's
give this thing a good wash. We're trying out a new method here where we raised up the front end of it so that hopefully all the sand and everything flows out the back underneath the skid plates and actually empties out instead of sitting in there and trying to get it through the little holes of the frame. We're also going to be looking at the belt. As you guys saw in the last video, I'll show it here, but the belt got wet, so we're going to be inspecting the belt seal and everything. There's a new design in the belt seal that was supposed to stop water from coming in it, but it was sitting in the river, buried up to the tires. I looked at the videos and the water did not get above the engine, so there's no reason that water should have got in our belt housing. But we're going to be changing out the belt today, have a fresh belt for the race, and we're going to be breaking it in later today, just drive around town here. Right before the race. So other thing we're going to be doing is putting dielectric grease on the connections. I don't know if you guys know anything about dielectric grease, but it helps seal the connections from water, and it also helps the flow of electricity. I'll be showing you guys what that exactly is if you guys haven't seen it before or used it before. So we're going to give this thing a wash first and then start tearing into it. Got a couple things that I want to do to it just to clean it up, and a little bit of maintenance here and there. Please hit that subscribe button. Just scroll down, hit that subscribe button for us. Really help us out, really help the channel grow, trigger that YouTube algorithm, and you know, so we can bring you guys more content, more material, and you know, it just really helps out the channel. Alright, so let's get started. Change out the air filter, take this cover off right here, comes out like that, lift up, gets you access to the air box. Simple, easy. It's one of the things I like, some of the engineering behind it. One thing I noticed that they could have put a better drain hole system over on this side. Basically I had to push all the dirt up here to run it through there. Like, it does have a little bit right there, one right here, but it's very much there's a little bit of drain down there, but I mean, it's still dirty. Still got to do some more washing on it, but trying to lose some weight before the race. Check out the air filter, see what it looks like right now. This is still the original air filter. Not the worst thing. I've probably blown it out a couple times. We got a brand new one for it though. We're gonna wipe down the inside of the air box, get all that dust off, change out the air filter, So it's brand new for the race. New belt, new air filter. No mods on this machine besides your basic winch and bumpers. One thing that happened over the weekend, this bolt rattled loose. So what we're gonna be doing is, luckily the bolt fell in the bed as we were ripping through everything. But we're gonna put some Loctite on that, and or Teflon tape, something to really keep it in, lock it in from it rattling again. So a little trick to it, you know, just put a dab of Loctite on it, and it'll hold it in there once it dries. Hopefully, we'll find out. All right, time for the air filter. You guys see that? Oof. Bad.
Cannot remember when I put you through this drive. I never got to tell you the real way that I feel. But I hope that you knew that our relationship was real. You are not here right now to embrace me in your arms. You were supposed to be the one that keeps me from harm. I need a way out, and it's more than I can bear. I cannot see the shadows. You are not.
I was out doing some gravel travel, and I was doing about 40 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden I got a misfire on cylinder 1, and it was probably because of the air filter. A lot of dust comes up when you're gravel traveling. Inside is pretty clean, but I mean, that's filthy. That looks like a vacuum cleaner filter. So we got a new air filter in there. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. It happened one more time last weekend, but it cleared up right away. So, just to let you know. So we got our new belt, part number right there. I'll leave it down in the description. This one's specifically made for snow and dirt. And first thing we're gonna be doing is taking off our air inlet pipe, and then taking these screws off. Now, in the toolkit here, it does come with this tool right here to take these off, so you can change it out on the trail. But we're not going to be using this because we don't have to, and we're going to be using a regular ratchet and socket. All right. like got a little bit of spots here that didn't seal all the way, and that's from me washing it. I didn't have the drain cap on. A little bit of mud right there. See that? So it looks like the top wasn't tight enough. The seal wasn't sealing it. Let's see here. So just looking around. It's got a little bit of debris in here. Now it could have been from falling off. That right there. Yeah, so that might explain why we got water that day last weekend while it was sitting in the river. Or it could have came in from the drain plug, which I have a new drain plug because the drain plug that I got was over tensioned, over torqued, and it started to strip, so I couldn't really put too much pressure onto it because the plastic was stripped out, but I got a new drain plug for it. So one thing we're gonna do is wipe this all down before we seal it back up. The seal looks, the seal's raised on all these parts. Right there, it's kind of not. So we're just gonna inspect this. It's still raised above the metal, so I just don't think those were probably tight enough. All right, so we're gonna be changing the belt. So in our toolkit here, we're gonna open up this clutch. Oh, yeah, there it goes. Okay. So this tool is going to separate so we can get the belt off. Yeah, it does that. See if we got enough to just walk this off. All right. Belt is not in the worst condition, but because I'll probably put this on after the race, probably put it back on after the race, but I do want to race with a new belt. You can see there is rub marks where it was sliding. No indentions though. It's basically flat all the way around, so it's not the worst belt. So I'll be putting this back on after the race. Some other things you want to look at, feel around in here, make sure you don't have any excessive ridges. This bell housing feels extremely smooth all the way through it. Alright, so Polaris did some work and engineering on this. So this airflow deflector right here helps with the airflow to keep the belt cool. Interesting design. Not sure exactly how it all works, but they say their belt life lasts quite a while. I mean, I smoked that belt at least once, and I definitely couldn't get any traction when this was filled with water when I was sitting in the river. So, all right, so we're gonna make sure there's no debris in there, and we're gonna put it back on, and we're gonna clean our seal up. you guys can see it didn't collapse back down. All right, so basically we're gonna end up starting in a higher gear. So what you can do, spin it. I'll slowly work, see how it's slowly tightening up. Spin a few times. There we go. Tightened up on our belt. Alright, here's the dielectric grease I was talking about. It says prevents corrosion, resists arcing, eases disassembly, and it waterproofs. I actually have this stuff on my ATV. When I was going deep, spark plugs sit about out that high right there, and when I went deep and water got into the boot, it would start misfiring. Threw some of this dielectric grease into the boot, plugged it in, you know, put it back on the spark plug. Haven't had an issue with it since. You guys saw I went deep enough to get water into my belt a couple weeks ago. Belt intake is right about there. Air intake is right there. So, but even though it did a proper break-in on it, so when the belt got wet, I was still able to get it out of the water and keep it rolling. So, didn't get stuck, nothing like that. So, I was still on top of the sand. So yeah, dielectric grease. If you got an ATV, throw it on your spark plug boots if you don't know about it, and put in your electrical connections. So dielectric grease doesn't take much. Just I'm just gonna dab right in here so the prongs push it on in. Connect it, plug it back in. Now I get that there's a seal around here already, but like I said, over time, I mean, these things can get corroded, and it helps. Yeah, I read it too. It helps with arcing and corrosion. So I'm just gonna go through all these, as many connections as I can find, and do this. Kind of boring to watch, so I'll get back to you. Alright, so there's what I was talking about. These little clips here. It goes to right here. You can see them on vehicles. Well, Polaris's ones, they like to break, I've noticed. I don't know if they're torquing them too much in the factory or what. But so I got, you go to your parts store, look at that guy. It's a M6, got some blue Loctite also. There it is. It's M6-1 point, so it's metric. They're just metal clip nuts. Picked up a couple of them. I have this is probably the fourth one I found broken. I found a couple broken ones on this front plastic piece here. I replaced those, and they're just not holding that well. So I'm moving on to some bigger, better things. So pick up some of these, and that's what we're gonna do. Throw a little bit of Loctite on that, put that in, and then put that back on, and it shouldn't come back out. If you can get a hold of purple Loctite, that'd be the best one. I mean, we just don't want it to rattle loose. Blue Loctite, it's not as strong as red. You can also use red, but I would go with blue or purple Loctite. All right, I'm gonna get this fixed up. Thanks guys for watching. Please hit that subscribe button. On the 18th, if you're in the Boone, Iowa area, come and watch the races. You can also enter your own side-by-side in the races. So check it out. I'll be recording that next weekend, so that'll be the next video. All right, thanks guys.